Hello again, this is SF Giants Fan Mike. I just want to say thank you to all of you that recommended Fate Prisma Illya to me. Long story short, since you guys had recommended it to me, I decided to skip ahead and to start to watch it. Now, before we even got to the what do you call it? The opening credits. This already had the hook I needed to stick with the show for a while. All right, so I don't know if you guys have watched it, but I'm just going to walk you through my thought process. All right. So I throw it on, and it starts off with this little girl in a classroom. She's got white hair, and that's starting to ring a bell. And all of a sudden, as they get a shot of her face, I notice, wait a minute, she's got red eyes. Is that a coincidence? Red eyes, white hair, and she looks ridiculously young. You know, if you could see me, you'd probably be able to see the wheels churning in my head. Wait a minute, and then someone calls out her name in the hallway. Ilya's Feel! I'm like, oh my gosh! This is Illya from. I was like, this is Illya! Oh my gosh! And then the teacher walks out to scold her for running in the hallway. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's the. Oh my gosh, I've looked up her name in the last week and I still forget it. But that's the freeloading landlady slash teacher from Unlimited Blade Works. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's not only Illya, but this seems to be set in the Fate Stay Night world. Maybe not Unlimited Blade Works. We know that these guys like to play with the what if scenarios rather than sticking to a dedicated canon. And so I know, okay, we're going to be playing most likely with people we know, but maybe they're just going to stick with Illya. By the time she gets out of the high school, she gets greeted by Shiro. And I was just like, oh my gosh. I had to pause it, go to my video and leave the comment about, hey, I'm a minute 51 into this and I'm already hooked. Man, I just, like I said, thank you. Obviously, by the time we got through the credits, I knew we had Rin was going to be featured. I still don't remember her name. Uh, this one here. Sorry, guys. I forget what her name is, but she was at the end of Unlimited Blade Works, and her and Rin have that rivalry going. I was like, oh my gosh. And obviously, we see even more. Ilya's parents are mentioned as being alive. Oh my gosh, I've already forgotten their names. Well, I don't remember. It's Irisiville, Irisiville, or something like that. But Iris and Illya. Iris is around somewhere, so it sounds like. Sounds like her dad, Emiya, Shiro and Kiritsugu? I believe it's Kiritsugu. Anyway, maybe I'm thinking of Kirite. Anyway, there's a lot of K names, and I'm mixing them all up because I'm going through zero at the same time, guys. But her parents, in this what if, are potentially alive. They're not really going to be featured in the story, but this seems like Ilya's actually kind of getting her happy ending. So that was a huge hook for me. I'll be honest. I've got up to episode 6 now. And I will tell you truthfully, if this did not feature characters I loved, I would not have given this the time of day. This to me is not a groundbreaking anime. This isn't like Zero and Unlimited Blade Works, where after I watched them, I was like so super hyped and it made me a fan. But because I'm a fan, Prisma Illya is pretty darn good. It lets me go back through with these characters that I've come to appreciate and lets them tell another story with them, and I'm okay with that. Like I said, I've got through episode 6. That, for those of you that have recommended it to me, I went through, I think it's 3 episode arc, maybe even 4, with I think it was 3. So you have the first episode, I want to say, that deals with Castor or Medea, from, I want to say she would have been from Unlimited Blade Works or Fate Stay Night, probably. But I know she was in Unlimited Blade Works. They beat her, and then who should make her appearance? I don't know where it is, left or right, but let me find it. Yes. Yes, she makes an appearance. Oh, yeah. All right. So I know I've talked about not necessarily liking fan service, but this is the kind of fan service I can get behind. You want to get all the girls in unrealistic proportions and tight clothing and all that stuff. You can call that fan service, but this is fan service that I appreciate. Um, Here's Alteria. Um, and I'm gonna get to something in a bit because three things I want to cover now. I want to finish my little thoughts on the first 6 episodes of Prisma Illya. Then I want to talk about alters, and then I want to talk about Fate Grand Order, the mobile game. But anyway, back to here. Like I was saying, this is not a genre I would normally watch. I have watched some magical girl stuff before. Um, it's not my thing. Like with oh gosh, what is it? Like Sailor Moon. I can't get through the second episode. I was able to make myself get through the first episode, started the second episode. I was like, I'm out. I can't do it. I know there's some kind of made up rule where you got to give them 3 episodes. No, I'm done. You didn't catch me in 20 minutes. Goodbye. I'm one of those people you got to get a hook in me pretty quick. And what did I say about Prisma Illya? Within the first 2 minutes, they were able to hook me because of nostalgia. Because let's be honest, I think I said it in an earlier video. The reason why I love this so much is that I had the feeling that I would never get to really play with these guys again. I would never get to hear more of their story. And in that sense, I'm never going to hear. I don't think they're ever going to come out with a continuation of Unlimited Blade Works. But I get to see the characters in a new story, and I'm okay with that. I'm not going to pay attention to canon. I think that was one of the first comments that came out about Prisma Illya from you guys. It doesn't necessarily play well with canon, and it doesn't. And I don't care. I'm putting that to the side for now. I don't care. I'm not gonna play with it. I'm not gonna think about it too hard. But I love this episode. I love this for the fan service. For hey, you got Arturia. You found a way to get Arturia in here. Granted, it's Arturia Alter, and from what I remember, she's from one of the how do you put it? She's from the Heaven's Feel line story route in Fate Stay Night, and she's featured in Fate Grand Order. So it's all three topics of mine tonight are going to kind of all intertwine a little bit because of the altar stuff. Um, but yeah, guys, I'm really liking it so far. It's not great. I'm not sitting here and the content is like what stimulated me. I know eventually as I get into this stuff, I'm probably going to get burnt out because of the genre. Again, not my thing. I'm more of I want to say they call it shonen, like Dragon Ball. Again, you go through my account. I think I'm nearing 40 uh videos I have on my YouTube channel right now. I want to say 30 of them are Dragon Ball related. Yeah, I like the action. Other favorites are like One Punch Man. Obviously, the Fate ones are all kind of actiony. I don't know if they are officially shonen, but they're actiony. And that's kind of what I like. Where Fate Stay Night has a really good story to go along with the action, so I'm really, really, really digging it. Versus, with Dragon Ball, I really like a couple of the characters, and I really like the action in it. There's a lot of other stuff I can get into, but this is not a Dragon Ball review or thoughts or memorandums or whatever, because those probably came and went like 10 years ago or so when I realized we probably weren't going to get any more Dragon Ball content. And then of course, once I make my once I made my peace with that, Akira Toriyama starts releasing new stuff within like a year or two. So anyway, But yeah, guys, that's pretty much my review on that. I'm not going to get into specifics. It's awesome. I do like the action that is there. I love the fact that you have Rin and even that one girl. Why can't I remember her name? If you'd have asked me before I started filming, I would remember the blonde one's name. For whatever reason, right now, it's just not getting past my brain to my tongue. So anyway, I love the fact that Ilya's in this one and she's getting focus. I thought Miku, or whatever the purple one here is named. I thought for a second there she might be Sakura, because Ilya got de-aged. Obviously Ilya is like 18, 19 in Fate Stay Night, even though she looks like early teens, because because from what I've learned, she's a homunculus and she doesn't age quite as fast. um I thought maybe they did the same with Sakura, but they didn't. From what I can tell, this is a new character. Maybe I missed her in Zero and Unlimited Blade Works, but she has this other character. Definitely things I don't like about it. Like Rin, I love the fact that Rin's there, and Rin's pretty much herself. But because they have this blonde-haired lady in here, they have her stay true to her character. And when she's around this other lady, she's not the Rin I like. I mean, I love the fact that there's that part to her personality, but when that's the one note you're getting 60-70% of the time she's on screen, yeah, it's not good. But I like the fact that she's there, and then when she's not with this lady, she is the Rin that I remember by and large. They probably play her off a little differently, but she's close enough where I'm not minding. She's close enough to the real deal where I'm like, okay, I'm here, I'm with you, I'll forgive you the little stuff. Um, I do like the fact that they're focusing on Ilya, and it's kind of like a happy life at this point. What I'm not liking is that I don't know if they de-aged her. No, because if she's older than Ren, I think. Um, I know for a fact that in Face State Night, Ilya would have been 18. She was 8 at the time of Fate Zero, and then 10 years passed, so that's 18. Um, all of a sudden she's like 13, 14. That's the only thing I don't like. Not necessarily because I don't. How do you put it? It's just one of those weird things where now all of a sudden, instead of her and Ren kind of being her, Ren, Sakura, Shiro are all oh my gosh, not acquaintances, not siblings. Um Shoot, it has to do with like pecking order. Um Shoot. I'll just call them equals. They're all kind of equals. They're all equals. They were all masters in the Holy Grail War. They were all children that were kind of born into the Holy Grail War. But here, there's just that different dynamic because she's so much younger. Um, Again, those are kind of the two big cons outside of the genre. But with this, I'm not minding the genre as much. Anyway, guys. So again, thank you so much for recommending that to me. I'm going to move on to alters. All right, guys, I'm not necessarily going to stay here too long, but I watched a video. I've always been kind of curious with the alters because, again, I play Fate Grand Order. Hey, it's mixing in again. And like one of the first things you encounter in that game is Alteria, Alter Saber, however you want to call it. You're like, wait, okay, that is definitely Alteria, but she's gone bad. She's broken bad. And then I think about it, you're not going to, even with command seals and all that, you're not going to influence Arturia to break bad. So you knew something has to happen with these altars. And I've always wondered about that. And remember, I got into Fate Grand Order towards the tail end of my run in Unlimited Blade Works. So I watched a video by I'm gonna link it in the description. I want to say his name is Tsaya4. At least that's the channel name. Again, I'll have that link to the video I'm specifically talking about. He kind of covered altars, how they come to be, etc., so on and so forth. And the one I'm going to focus on is obviously the one that's on screen right now, Arturia. Um, the way she came about in apparently she is from original continuity, from the original Fate Stay Night game. Heaven's Feel route, she's getting in a fight with that one samurai assassin person. And apparently, like Gilgamesh in Fate Zero, she ends up getting covered in the Holy Grail. He called it the Holy Grail's mud. Whatever that Holy Grail stuff that pours out. And that initiated the change. Apparently, that change is strong enough to bypass her magic resistance. Obviously, it's from the Holy Grail. You would figure something that strong could do it. And that kind of created the alter persona in Arturia. Don't know in that reality if that is a permanent thing. Like after Saber's defeated and she goes back to her waiting, which we know happens from Fate Zero. Is she herself again, free of the influence, or did she get permanently tainted? Like, let's say the next Holy Grail War, like say they do go do another Holy Grail War in the Heavens Feel continuity, and somehow she gets called back again by one of Shiro's kids, because he's got Avalon, he gives it to the kid, they summon her. Is she going to be Saber? Is she going to be Arturia? Is she going to be Arturia Alter? I don't think he went into that. I don't remember it. But that was just one of those things that got me thinking. Now, I'm going to tie this back to Unlimited Blade Works. And again, this is more of a musing, guys. This isn't me like, hey, this is what altars are. No. This is just one of those things I saw in the original series. I've seen in Fate that mud, and I'll get to that mud in a second. I've seen Arturia Alter and obviously Gene Alter, and there's probably a few more altars to come in Fate Grand Order. Heck, that was probably Medusa Alter in the beginning of Fate Grand Order. Those are probably, except for Caster, those are probably all altars. In that I know what's her name defeated them, probably threw them in the mud, and then they change, and then they're being controlled, and all that horror genre stuff is going on. So I was interested about it. I watched a video by Tsaya4, and I think I kind of got a grasp on it. But that video kind of gives me my musing for the night. All right, back to Unlimited Blade Works, back to the end. Again, these always have spoilers, guys. This is definitely spoilers. So feel free to skip ahead however many minutes till I start talking about Fate Grand Order. But in it, towards the end, Rin is trying to save some dude that had been a complete and utter jerk to her. She's running through the Grail's muck, mud, whatever you want to call that icky stuff. She's going up there to try to save him. And Arturia is like, okay, no. I'm going to go do it. I'll go do it. I'll go through this stuff and try to go save him. And Rin has a comment, something to the effect of, we don't know what this stuff will do to you. And I just remembering at the time, it clicked in my head that there was something there, and I didn't know what it was. Now I do. Thanks to that video from Tsaya4 or Psy4. Anyway, I'll figure out his pronunciation later. The video will be in the description. long story short, that moment that clicked in my head, I knew there was something there between that mud and servants. And apparently, they get in that mud, they get changed. Even Gilgamesh was changed. You could tell, even though Gilgamesh was always a jerk, you could tell from Fate Zero to Fate to Unlimited Blade Works, his personality was changed, and I didn't realize what it was at the time. I thought he just got a mortal body from it. Um, so that moment is now paid off now that I know a little bit more about the lore. Had Arturia gone into that mud, she becomes Saber Alter, and who knows what happens after that. Obviously, the only thing Saber really does is destroy the Grail, and stop that specific instance. So we don't know. I don't know how much could have changed, but it's just one of those moments that has had me going, huh, at the time. And now that I've learned that, it's just one of those things that makes you think. There's not any real super point to this, guys, but that was just, I thought that was kind of cool to learn, to see that moment pay off, because I haven't been able to get my hands on any further stuff out of the Fate Stay Night. I don't know if you want to call it a trilogy or the three paths, whatever you want to call them. I've only been able to get that one path in the anime. I thought I found the 2006 anime on Crunchyroll slash Verve. Unfortunately, that is the Unlimited Blade Works. Um, so be it. I'll figure out how to get my hands a hold of this without breaking the bank at some point. I may well take up. I won't even say your name, but you know who you are. You put the link down to the description. I might figure out how to do the torrenting to get it, because I can't go to the company and buy it. If they put out a Fate Stay Night re-release, whether it stays in its original genre or not, or subgenre, I should say, I don't care. I will give you money. Shoot, I should know who this is that makes it by now. I really should know this, but anyway, whatever the company's behind this, if you re-release it, I will buy it. $60 game, I will buy it. $40, I'll definitely buy it. I'll buy that day one. Um, but as it is, I have no legal way to actually give you my money for your product. Doesn't matter if I buy it off of eBay, you don't see they don't get to see proceeds from that. So that's really, anyway, the fact that this is in such limited release is getting me to consider stuff that I normally wouldn't do. And I even have a moral justification, even if it's not a legal justification. But anyway, guys, I will get my hands a hold of that. I'm going to do it legally if I can. Buy a release off of eBay or something. But I'm going to get my hands a hold of this, because I want to see those other two routes really bad now. Of course, there is the Heaven's Feel movie trilogy they're doing. So maybe if I could do that and get the DVDs, I'll be satisfied. Anyway, guys, I'm going to move on from this point. I've kind of just understood that I'm going to probably run long when I do these, guys. I'm not going to try to artificially shorten these or whatever. You're just going to get my thoughts on the series as is. Okay, so hello again. This is SF Jans Fan Mike. Um, I'm actually filming this as a outro to my previous video. If you guys have been listening to the one I'm planning to tag this onto, I talked about Prisma Illya, and then I talked about the altars. And those altars kind of got me into Fate Grand Order. I love the story of that video game. I liked the modes, but as I'd been kind of feeling and I figured what happened, I got super, super, super frustrated with the gotcha in that game. I have since uninstalled the game. I got super annoyed with it. I'm not gonna. I got super annoyed with it to the point, guys, where I'm editing out it ended up going into like a 20-minute rant. Where I wanted to actually talk about a lot of the things I liked about that game. That was my intention. And then as I started talking, it just snowballed into a 20-minute rant. So what I do want to talk about just ever so briefly is the altars. I have not listened to what I recorded on the altars, so forgive me, guys. I liked how the altars were incorporated in Fate Grand Order. Whether you go by here, the First Order movie, or into the game, I like how they were there. Um, I like how they used them, kind of like that whole first Fukuyuki City prologue. They pretty much were all altars, except for the one caster, who's actually, I should know his name, guys. He was a Lancer in the actual series, but he was a caster there. Anyway, pretty much everybody was defeated and turned into an altar, which was really cool concept. Like I said, with that game, I cannot fault it for its story and its use of stuff. And it's really what one of the things that really intrigues me about the series is this altar stuff. So far I've only seen it pop up in Prisma Illya, obviously, and Fate Grand Order. Um, because I haven't been able to get to it in Fate Stay Night. Um, from what I know, those are the three areas it comes in. I just got done with this might actually be going up before it, but I'm recording it after I recorded my Fate Apocrypha video. Um, so yeah, I'm like kind of thinking here, guys. Sorry. Dun dun dun, altar. Um, yeah, guys. So that's pretty much going to be it for this video, guys. I wanted to talk more about how I really liked Fake Ground Order. And you know what? Let me talk about that a little bit. I do like it, but if you're expecting a relatively generous gotcha, no. If you're trying to go into the to Fate Grand Order and you're like, hey, I want a team of Artoria, John d'Arc, and whoever else, yeah, just know that you're probably not going to get your superstar team up anytime soon on Fate Grand Order. It's just not going to happen. They're really stingy with giving you out the premium currency to get the characters, and then to get the characters in the gotcha itself, it's not just characters, they throw equipment in there. And that, guys, oh my gosh, that was a subject that was epic in the rant. But I don't again, the gotcha part of it I hated, but I really loved the gameplay. If you think you can withstand the gotcha and the grind and all that stuff, guys, I highly recommend Fate Grand Order. I can actually put a stamp of approval on it. Um, Thing is, for me, I wanted to kind of get my favorites, and that's why I play games. With like the Umbral Star on PS4, I see that I can get Artoria, and I can get Nero Claudius, whom I've come to like through Fate Grand Order, oddly enough. But through the storyline, I came to know John d'Arc first there. I came to like her. I came to like Mary Antoinette. I came to like several of those characters they introduce you through the story mode, and I couldn't they go get them. It's the same reason why I left Fire Emblem Fates. I actually just went back to Fire Emblem Heroes, I should say. Went back to Fire Emblem Heroes because they have a new Lyn, and Lyn is like my favorite Fire Emblem character, even though I haven't played much of her game. I really just the initial loading screen. She was the first character I've ever seen in Fire Emblem history, and I was enamored with her design. And then I looked her up. I liked her character, from the little bit of the dialogue, from when she shows up in your castle. I liked her dialogue, and I wanted her, but I could never get her in Fire Emblem Heroes. So I spent like $80 to buy a and this is the last thing I'll kind of say about Fire Emblem, not Fire Emblem, sorry, Fate Grand Order, guys. I spent $80 to, no, it was more like $60. I spent $60 and I bought a Nintendo DS, and I bought well, I guess it's just called Fire Emblem, but it's actually Fire Emblem Blazing Sword anyway, guys. Not to confuse you guys. And I bought it for $60 or 70 or something like that. And it was well worth it. I played for maybe 10 hours before the screen just killed me. I'm learning as I'm getting older. Smaller screens just don't cut it for me as much anymore. It's hard to stay immersed with the small screen. Like I've been so used to the Nintendo 3DS, the 3DS XL that I have, and then my phone and other stuff. The small screens just don't cut it anymore. Um, so yeah, guys, I can highly recommend Fate Grand Order if you're looking for a mobile game that's Fate oriented. As long as you're like, hey, I don't care who I have on my team. If you're one of those guys that goes for min max, that might be the game for you. Because I could kind of see that where if you're that kind of person, that would be a fun game because you can get strong characters that aren't, the 5-star pools or the main characters or whatever. Um, but I tend to go to IP type games for the IP. I went to Fate Grand Order not for necessarily a great storyline, though it has a great storyline. I didn't necessarily go for it for the fun modes. That has some fun modes. I went for the characters, and I couldn't get the characters. So I'll leave it at that, guys. Thank you so much for listening. However long this is going to end up being. Thank you so much. If you leave me a like or comment, or subscribe if you can. I'm trying to, again, life is kind of crazy right now, guys. I'm trying to get more consistent on putting out at least a video a week. And then I want to get more like 3, 4, 5 videos a week. But right now, I just want to get to that, at least putting out one video a week on the weekend, probably like on Sunday or something. So anyway, guys, thank you so much. I will talk to you next time. Talk to you later. Bye.